Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Saturday morning and we've got two topics today, two cases. Leticia Stauch briefly, and then I'm going to go on to the Summer Wells case. So if you're only here for Summer, I'll put a timestamp on the video right here on the screen and you can go straight to that. But I want to talk about Leticia first of all. So let's do this. So in the trial of Leticia Stauch, who is pleading not guilty by reason of insanity for the murder of her stepson Gannon, I thought we'd have a verdict yesterday, I really did. We had closing arguments yesterday morning. The jury retired to deliberate about lunchtime, and 5 o'clock the jury were dismissed and deliberations are going to resume at 9 AM on Monday Mountain Standard Time. Just can't imagine what Gannon's family are going through right now. So 4 hours of deliberations on Friday. I was in Sleuth Mom's chat during the deliberation period on Verdict Watch, refreshing the Colorado court's Twitter feed every 2 minutes. I felt like some, I don't know, weird stalker or something. And she put a poll up saying, how long do you think deliberations are going to take? I put 2 to 4 hours on her poll. And I did think we'd be done by 5 PM. I mean, what do they have to deliberate, right? It's her insanity, isn't it? There's no dispute about whether the crime was actually committed by Leticia. The prosecution had to lay out the case for that murder at Leticia's hand, just in case at some point in the future she came along and said, well, I was insane at the time and I didn't really do it, right? So they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she actually did it, but the defence are not disputing it. So it's the issue of, was Leticia insane at the time of the crime? And the only thing I can think that's taken this long is that they're watching that full 14 hours of footage from Dr. Lewis when she interviewed Leticia. I mean, I'd want to watch it out of curiosity. And maybe I wouldn't watch the full 14 hours. Maybe I'd fast forward through some of it. But that's the only thing I can think that the jury are doing. That's the maybe sticking point for some jurors, that they want to watch it all. If so, then we might not even have a verdict on Monday. Absolutely agonising. I was on a jury in 2020, just before the COVID lockdown. And it took us 1.5 hours or thereabouts. And that was a murder of an elderly gentleman by a father and son, 50-odd-year-old man and then a 30-year-old son. By closing arguments, I'd made up my mind that they definitely did it. The thing that I wanted to check was the role of the son, because I got the impression that he was just doing what his dad wanted, that his dad was the person who instigated it all. The dad was the violent one. And I wanted to check the CCTV because in the court, the CCTV that actually covered the murder, it was only in one tiny corner, the top left-hand corner of this CCTV footage that was from down the road. The closer one didn't capture, and it was panning, and it panned away during this kicking and punching attack that killed this elderly gentleman. And I wanted to look at that footage because I thought I'd seen something on that footage, and I played it and played it and played it and played it. And we took a poll at the beginning. I know Judge Werner in the Stauch case told them not to, but we took a poll at the beginning and it was 10-2. One of them wasn't sure that it was murder, kind of thought manslaughter. And then one of them, she actually stuck firm. She stuck firm, and it was her. We'd have been done within 45 minutes if it hadn't been for her. But I was playing this CCTV over and over again, and you could see in the top left-hand corner, you could see the taller figure, who was the son, kicking a man on the ground. You could clearly see it. It was tiny, but you could clearly see it. So when I played this several times for this person who thought it was manslaughter, she was like, nah, that's not manslaughter. But this other one, she stuck firm, and she said, look, I don't believe this was murder. I think this was just a tragic event. And she stuck firm. And then eventually she said, well, I'm not going to change anyone's minds, am I? So anyway, the judge said he wanted a unanimous verdict, but if it went on for an undisclosed number of hours, then he'd accept an 11-1. But he wouldn't tell us how many hours that would be. So they were going to get convicted anyway. She could have held us up for the next 10 hours. And we'd still have won, so to speak. So, yeah, that was the one thing I wanted to check, because I understood all the evidence. But in Leticia's case, it's very, very, very different. It's an insanity defence, and these things don't tend to work. So hopefully the jury do the right thing and we don't have another Casey Anthony case on our hands. I'm confident that the jury will reach the right decision. But yeah, I think that's what's taking the time. Anyway, over to the Summer Wells case. So yesterday, if you caught the video, if not, go back and watch it, because this is kind of following on from that. That at the end of that video, I asked people to show me the footage of Don being really, really abusive and just vile. Some people posted it in my Facebook group, and I'd seen it on YouTube by then. It had been put back up. It was on Jenky's channel. I don't know that channel. Wow. He had his little grandson with him. Called him a little mother effer. He's going to whoop his ass. Why? He wasn't doing anything. I mean, he was only on camera for a tiny period of time, but what was he doing? Well, whatever he was doing, he was a little boy, whatever he was doing, calling him a mother effer. I mean, that's Grandad of the Year material, that is. I assume it's his older daughter's kids or older son's kids, I don't know, but honestly. And then he said, oh, you know, I want to stop being angry, I want to turn over a leaf. And then literally 2 minutes later, he's being really vile, like the N-word. I mean, just the use of the N-word. Don's understanding of the use of the N-word is so far from reality. I've no idea what on earth. He's like, I don't care whether you're white, black, yellow, green, you're still an N-word. What? Somebody explained to him. But yeah, just vile. Grandad of the Year. Fortunately, the kids are gone when this outburst happened, I think, but dear me. I played a little bit of audio that Jodisue had played from Candice, and I still don't know where this audio came from. If you know where this audio came from, then let me know, because I want to credit the person whose audio it is. So Jodisue played it. The audio wasn't great because Jodisue was playing it through her phone, I think. The audio wasn't great on Jodisue's, but I'm going to play you a little snippet of it from Don B's channel, because Don B's audio is a little bit better than Jodisue's was. It's still not great, but it's better. So in the audio that I played yesterday via Jodisue, Candice was saying that Wayne Morlock, who'd molested a kid, had come to her house on Christmas Eve, and this Wayne Morlock was a new person. We'd never heard this character before. So why Wayne Morlock was at 110 Ben Hill Road, I don't know. I don't even know fully which Christmas Eve it was, the last one, I guess, I don't know. But I did a little bit of research into Wayne Morlock, so I showed you the newspaper article from Times News of him attacking his drinking buddy. But I looked up his charges, and he's got a lot of kind of lesser offences like DUIs, drug possession, robbery, both in Hawkins County and Sullivan counties, going back to the 90s. Mainly in the 90s, early 2000s. Then he's got an aggravated assault in 2011, and then he's got this from 2018, but I can't find any sexual offences at all. So whether that's just hearsay, whether Candice is talking about a different person, I don't know. But they're all related round at Beech Creek. While I was on Verdict Watch yesterday, I looked up Wayne Morlock's ancestry. I fitted him in to the Hill/Bernard family tree, and it appears that he's Fred Hill and Andy Bernard's third cousin. So they're all related. Yeah, so along with this audio was this. So I'm playing this from Don B's channel because he's got a better audio than Jodisue.
I don't know. That's kind of odd. There's a lot of unanswered questions that I want answered, but like I can't ask them of Donnie because he'll flip out. Right. Do you think he could have took Summer over there? No. I don't think Donnie did it. Right. But I think that there's someone that Donnie knows that did. That may have did it.
So she's got a lot of unanswered questions. She can't ask Don, but she thinks Donnie might know who did it. So Don is saying that the only thing Candice is guilty of is having the wrong friends. And there are some unsavoury characters in Candice's life. But Don, with his Knoxville visits, his drug parties, his split personality, I've got to say. I mean, is he the one with DID? He could well know who did it. I don't think the parents are guilty of murder or covering up an accident. I don't. I really don't. But are they involved in so much as they're covering up for someone? Do they really know who did it? Does Candice know who did it? Or has a strong suspicion of who did it and she's then projecting it onto Don? Or is it Don? Does Don know? And he's scared. Jodisue said that Don is scared of Don Sherfy Sr. And on some audio yesterday, it wasn't very clear audio, but he said that he was going to forgive Sherfy for talking badly of him. There's just all of these, well, Candice is right, unanswered questions. But somebody knows. And it's somebody very close to the family who does know. The family themselves might know, or at least one of them does. And he's covering up, which is sickening. Absolutely sickening. Nearly 23 months and no justice. No justice at all whatsoever. Final thing I want to mention is something Jodisue said on her live yesterday. I only caught the first bit of it. But she was on about the dogs. You know, she said that the dogs weren't there. The Wells dogs weren't there on the day Summer disappeared. And that's why they didn't bark when someone came along. And she said, well, no dogs barked. It was quiet. And the neighbours' dogs didn't bark either. So this appears to be the case of the disappearing dogs. Clearly, the dogs of Ben Hill, who were all like brilliant watchdogs, they know when the police are coming. It's got to be someone that all of those dogs knew, if what Jodisue said was true. Anyway, lots to think about. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's goodbye from Miss Tillington and Miss Cassie Springer. I'll see you in the next video. And given that these topics are horrible and heavy, I'll leave you with a little palate cleanser. Bye guys.